They fought every day. Growls, hisses, swipes, barking. Two animals under the same roof, locked in what felt like a never-ending Cold War. And they're human. She was at the edge of surrender. One more argument, and one of them was leaving. But then, something happened. Something no one saw coming. Something that would change everything. Meet Milo, a 5-year-old orange tabby with a glare sharp enough to slice through drywall. Independent, proud, territorial. The kind of cat that treats every new living thing as a potential threat to the empire. Now meet Rocky, a 2-year-old Labrador who loves too much and listens too little. Tail-wagging, door-scratching, face-licking embodiment of chaos. They lived under the same roof, but they were not friends. When Rocky was adopted, Sarah hoped Milo would come around. But from day one, the war began. Food bowls were battlegrounds. Blankets were territory. Even eye contact sparked conflict. Rocky just wanted to play. But Milo, he wanted Rocky to vanish.
I tried everything. Separate feeding times, toys, soothing music, calming sprays. I even bought that pheromone diffuser thing people swear by. Nothing worked. They just didn't get along.
Sarah loved them both, deeply. But the constant tension was fraying her nerves. She started asking herself hard questions, the kind that feels like betrayal.
Do I have to give one of them up? I actually looked up rehoming services. I hated myself for it, but I was drowning. It felt like choosing between your kids.
Their relationship wasn't just bad, it was cold, calculated. Milo treated Rocky like a trespasser. Rocky treated Milo like an unpredictable toy that might bite at any moment. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a stormy Wednesday. Sarah had left the back gate unlocked for just a minute. That's all Rocky needed. He slipped out, chasing the wind, or a squirrel, or just freedom. And then he was gone. Sarah searched for hours, through rain, through puddles, calling his name, driving in circles.
I kept thinking, what if he's hurt? What if I never see him again?
Inside the house, Milo sat silently by the window, watching, waiting, not hissing, not angry, still, alert, as if he knew something was wrong. At 2:11 a.m., Sarah found Rocky, hit by a car, barely breathing, whimpering. She scooped him up and drove like her life depended on it. Internal bleeding, cracked ribs, shock. The vet gave Rocky a 30% chance. Sarah brought him home, wrapped in blankets with IV fluids, heavy meds, and a weight in her chest that crushed every breath. She sat with him through the night. She wasn't alone. And then, Milo did something no one expected. He walked up to Rocky, not with claws, but with concern. He curled beside him. He watched his chest rise and fall. He groomed his ears. He stayed the whole night.
He didn't leave Rocky's side. He acted like a nurse. Or maybe even a brother.
When Rocky whimpered in pain, Milo meowed, loud, urgent, until Sarah checked on him. When Rocky tried to stand, Milo walked beside him. He brought his toys. He shared his food. He curled around him like a living heating pad. The cat, who had once wanted him gone, now wouldn't let him out of his sight. No one could explain it. Was it empathy, instinct, gratitude for stillness, or something deeper, something only animals seem to understand? All Sarah knew was that Rocky was healing. And Milo was changing. But the biggest transformation was still to come. For the first 48 hours after Rocky came home, the house was silent. Not the usual kind of quiet, not the pets are asleep kind, but the heavy, anxious kind, the kind where the only sound you hear is your own heartbeat. Sarah barely slept. She kept one hand on Rocky's chest, making sure it rose and fell, making sure he was still there. And Milo, he didn't leave the room. He watched over Rocky like a sentinel. Every time Rocky groaned or stirred in pain, Milo responded. A low, drawn-out meow. A paw gently placed on the blanket. Not once did he swipe. Not once did he walk away in annoyance. Something inside him had shifted. It was the third night when Sarah caught it on camera. Milo nudged Rocky's water bowl closer. It was such a small act, so subtle, but undeniably intentional. Rocky hadn't been drinking. He was too weak to move. So Milo moved it for him.
I stood there in shock. This was the same cat who used to knock Rocky's food bowl over in protest, now helping him survive.
Before the accident, their interactions were predictable. Rocky would bound toward Milo. Milo would hiss and jump to a shelf. Rocky would bark. Milo would glare. Every day, a new standoff. But now, Milo was choosing proximity, choosing to stay, and Rocky, who once viewed Milo as a living chew toy, was quiet, respectful. He seemed to understand the gift he'd been given, a second chance, not just at life, but at love. By the end of the first week, Rocky stood. It wasn't graceful. His legs shook. He leaned on furniture, but he stood. Milo was there, watching. When Rocky took his first slow step forward, Milo followed behind like a shadow with 4 paws.
I honestly think Rocky stood because Milo wanted him to. It's like he gave him a reason, a friend to fight for.
That night, Sarah witnessed something she would never forget. Rocky laid down beside Milo, deliberately. He didn't bump into him. He didn't flop down like he usually did. He slowly, cautiously pressed his side against Milo's. Milo didn't move. Instead, he purred. For the first time in months, he purred. And Rocky, eyes half closed, wagged his tail, soft and slow. From that day forward, the house took on a new rhythm. Sarah no longer had to separate feeding times. Milo waited while Rocky ate. Rocky waited while Milo drank. They started sleeping on the same blanket, sometimes back to back, sometimes face to face. Sarah's camera began filling up with photos she never thought she'd capture. A paw on a muzzle, a tail curled protectively. 2 enemies, now companions. Animal behaviorists call it co-regulation. It's when 2 animals begin to mirror each other's emotional states, offering stability without words. What Milo and Rocky were doing went beyond tolerance. They were synchronizing. Rocky barked less. Milo meowed more. They walked side by side in the hallway, moved in tandem like they had practiced it their entire lives. Then something magical happened. Rocky brought Milo a toy. One of those rubber bones he used to guard like a dragon. He dropped it, sat down, waited. Milo batted it with a paw. Rocky picked it up again, tail wagging wildly. They did this for 6 minutes straight. No barking, no swatting, just joy. Over the following weeks, Sarah watched in awe as Milo and Rocky began doing things together that once seemed impossible. Here are 10 incredible things they now do, every day. 1. Shared wake-ups. They now team up to wake Sarah every morning. Milo meows by her face. Rocky noses her arm. It's synchronized and effective. Second side-by-side meals. No more hissing at the bowl. They eat next to each other in peace. Sometimes Milo even licks Rocky's empty dish clean, like a little brother helping out. Third, joint guard duty. Every afternoon they perch together at the living room window, watching squirrels, barking together. 2 sentinels, 1 team. 4, tug of war and sharing wins. Milo learned to play tug of war. Rocky gently holds one side. Milo swats and pulls on the other. Sometimes Rocky lets go, letting Milo win. 5, grooming rituals. Every night before bed, Milo grooms Rocky's ears. Rocky lies still, eyes closed, tail tapping the floor softly. 6, joint walks. Yes, really. Sarah introduced Milo to a harness. Now he walks short distances beside Rocky, side by side, step for step. 7th, movie night cuddles. They curl up together on the couch, Milo on Rocky's back, Rocky snoring softly, Sarah in the middle, grinning through tears. 8, play fighting with limits. They roughhouse now, lightly. Rocky gently paws. Milo dramatically rolls. It's like watching siblings who finally get along. 9, helping with anxiety. When Rocky hears thunder, Milo curls next to him. When Milo's startled by loud sounds, Rocky noses him gently. They comfort each other. 10, celebrating together. Birthdays, new toys, visitors. Every joy is shared. Rocky brings the excitement. Milo brings the calm. Together, they are whole. The tension that once gripped the home has melted. Sarah no longer lives between 2 fires. She lives between 2 flames of loyalty. They walk together, sleep together, heal together.
I was so close to giving up on one of them. But now I can't imagine either of them alone. They're not just pets anymore. They're a miracle.
What happened in Sarah's home wasn't just a recovery, it was a revelation. That rivalry can give way to love, that enemies can become allies, that healing, real healing, can come from the most unlikely of places. Sometimes it takes pain to reveal what's buried underneath pride. Sometimes love doesn't begin with kindness. It begins with tragedy and grows through choice. It had been weeks since Rocky's accident, weeks of healing, of watching Milo go from a bitter enemy to an unexpected nurse, weeks of transformation. But what happened on that one Sunday morning? That was the moment it all crystallized. Rocky stirred from his nap, sat up, and limped toward the door. Not with excitement, not to bark, but to stand and wait. Milo followed behind him, tail upright, calm, confident. It was as if they had rehearsed it. Then Sarah opened the door. Rocky stepped out into the yard, first time since the accident. He paused. And Milo gently nudged his side forward with his head. He pushed him, not out of the house, but forward into life. That morning, for the first time ever, Milo and Rocky chased the same butterfly. Not to compete, not to fight, but together. Sarah had started sharing videos of Rocky and Milo online. The contrast between their past and present was so stark, viewers were stunned. One video, titled "The Cat Who Saved the Dog He Hated," went viral in just 4 days. 3.2 million views. And then came the emails. from trainers, from behaviorists, even from a local veterinary college, asking if they could study the footage.
Animals absolutely experience social bonds. What's unusual here is the emotional intelligence, the ability of Milo, the cat, to detect suffering and respond with sustained care over weeks. It's incredibly rare. It mirrors behavior we'd expect from higher mammals, like dolphins or primates.
Soon, Sarah was invited to speak at an animal rescue event in the city, and she brought them both. Milo in a secure carrier, Rocky proudly wagging beside her. When she told their story of the endless fighting, the near-death night, and the bond that followed, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. But what happened next, no one expected. A young girl, no older than 9, walked up to Sarah afterward. Tears streaked her cheeks as she clutched a stuffed dog. "I'm scared of losing my dog," she whispered. "But if they made it, maybe we can too." Sarah bent down, placed Milo's carrier at the girl's feet, and through the bars, Milo gently placed a paw on the glass. The girl smiled, but there's one part of the story Sarah never noticed, until she was reviewing old pet footage months later. Rocky stood outside by the back gate, pacing, barking, and Milo was already at the door, watching Rocky, trying to push the flap open with his paw. Sarah paused the clip, then rewound, and there it was. Milo opened the door. He let Rocky out. At first, Sarah was confused, shocked. Why would he do that? But then she realized something. Rocky had been restless that week, pacing, barking at the air, agitated. Something had been wrong. Sarah remembered. That was the week before their neighbor's house alarm went off, before a stray dog was found injured in the same woods. Rocky was trying to help. And Milo let him. He didn't know it would end in tragedy. He just trusted him. And when Rocky didn't come home, Milo knew he had to fix it. Maybe he blamed himself. Maybe that's why he never left his side during recovery.
I think Milo thought it was his fault, that he had let his brother go alone. And when he came back broken, he made a choice to love fully, no matter what.
In a world where we label cats as aloof, dogs as simple-minded, and rivalry as something permanent, Milo and Rocky shattered all of it. They showed us something deeper. That true transformation doesn't come from discipline. It comes from empathy, from one creature recognizing another's pain and responding with presence. If Milo had stayed bitter, if Rocky had given up, they wouldn't be here now, chasing butterflies in the yard, side by side. They would have stayed enemies. Because in the end, the strongest bonds aren't born out of perfection. They're forged in fire, in trial, in the choice to show up again, even after the worst. Sarah never gave one of them away, because neither ever wanted to be apart again. And as the sun sets on a once divided home, the house is quiet, not from tension, but from peace. The kind you only earn through forgiveness, and the kind of love that doesn't care what came before, only what comes next. If this story touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Click the like button to show your love for animals who surprise us. Comment below. Have you ever seen a pet do something unexpected? We read every single one. Subscribe for more true animal stories that prove love knows no species. And if you think this story was incredible, just wait till you see what happens in the next one.